Today's reading is titled Transformation and Restoration. In one of our previous readings, I talked about the transformation power of love. And as we grow in the knowledge of how much God loves us and how He loves us unconditionally and how this love just pours down on us, that this love can restore us and heal us in many ways. It can bring us great peace and joy. Many of us have had things happen to us in the past that have made it hard for us to believe that we're even lovable. Things have happened to us that makes it hard for us to believe that God is love. And God understands this. But the more that we allow God's love to fill us up, and the more we can rest in God's love, it transforms us and changes us. It removes those wounds and hurts and starts transforming us into loving, peaceful, joyful people. And it doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. And that's pretty much a lot of what LoveSpring is about, is allowing this love of God to just pour over us and to fill us up and transform us. So I'm going to tell you a true story, and this is an example of how unconditional, pure love can transform and restore. And it's about a cat. And this cat's name is Rocky. Now, Rocky, I guess, had a had a rocky life. He ended up, when he came to us, a wounded, damaged cat, and he was very hostile, very vicious, very paranoid, very untrusting, and very wounded. It doesn't really matter, I guess, how all this happened to him, but it did. And so he came to us in this condition. Now, my wife loves cats. I mean, she loves cats, not just likes them, but loves them. She's a wonderful person. She's not only that way towards cats, she's that way towards all animals. She even saves frogs, and even saves worms. But anyway, we decided, even though Rocky was tough to have around, that we were going to keep Rocky and just love Rocky. And so that's basically what we did. We fed him initially. We provided a nice place for him to live. We were careful not to do anything to him that might make him freak out. And initially, if you tried to pick up Rocky, he would go berserk. He would just hiss and strike out, and actually, he was actually pretty scary. One of our dear friends tried to pick him up, and he did a real number on her arm. And then he would just recoil back into a defensive position and say, "Don't you do anything to me." So over time, we just kept feeding him, and we just kept loving him. And Rocky started to change. Gradually, Rocky came out and would hang around us. He might come up and sit next to us. Uh, I would say this took months for this to occur. And he would gradually start dropping a little bit of the defenses that he had to establish to protect himself. And so he would come around and just gradually start to get close to us. And so we would pet him and we would assure him, we would talk nice to him, and we just kept loving on this cat. And then one day, Rocky actually climbed up on our lap. And wasn't quite sure I wanted this cat on my lap. There's no telling what would happen. He could freak out and do anything. In fact, when he was on my lap, if I had to get up and I moved, he just would hiss and go crazy. So the wounds inside him ran really deep. It was fear, really. It was the fear inside him that was making him act this way. No trust, lots of fear. But as time went on, this fear and trust, or lack of trust, started to fade. And Rocky became more comfortable around us and would allow us to pet him, and even occasionally would allow us to pick him up. And he was being transformed and restored. And so it probably took, in fact, to this day, there are parts of Rocky that are still very fearful. I can see it in his eyes. Sometimes when I walk by him, he'll just give that look like, please don't hurt me. And so he still has some fear and lack of trust in him. But today, where this cat is compared to where he was when he first came into our house, it's amazing. And really, it was all just a matter of him being in an environment where he was unconditionally loved and taken care of. And that unconditional love helped him to overcome his fears and made him a more peaceful animal. So today, Rocky's with us, and he's a good cat, and we love him, and he's has no problem getting on our lap or getting on anybody else's lap that comes into our house. You can pick him up and you can pet him, and there's no fear that he's going to go off on anybody. So he's come a long way from where he was at, and the only thing that has occurred is he found a loving environment to grow and be nurtured in, and because of that, now he is a much happier, peaceful, contented cat. So this is a nice story, and it's the same story, or this story applies to other people, to people who have been wounded in their lives and who have decided not to trust others or has decided not to trust God, who feel unloved, people who have been abused, attacked, whatever life threw at them that maybe created them into angry, I'm not going to say vicious people, but angry, paranoid, defensive, wounded people. And so here at LoveSpring, we believe that simply by understanding God's love for you and allowing this love to pour over you on a daily basis, and allow this love to fill you up, magic actually occurs in you. Personally, I'm not saying that I'm 100% peaceful or this perfect human being, but I have noticed a difference in me, a more peaceful Dave, as I continue to focus on how much God loves me. And I hear this message every day. And I feel that it can transform you. So that is what our hope is at LoveSpring, is that as we grow deeper and deeper into the knowledge of God's love for us, it will bring us great peace. It will transform us. And as we have this great peace, it spreads to the world around us. We don't get as upset as we used to. We're more relaxed. It's a magical thing that happens to us as we allow God's love to pour over us and transform us. So, anyway, that's the reading or the true story for today. And I hope it has helped you understand just exactly how much God loves us, and that as we focus on His love and allow it to just cleanse us and pour over us, that it can bring us great peace and happiness with God and with others. So that's it for today. Thanks for listening. Bye.